Yo, yo, yo. It's your boy, it's your dog, it's your man, it's your friendly neighborhood Mexican, it's your friendly neighborhood superhero, it's your boy JAMARI Speaks back here in the house today for the JAMARI Speaks podcast episode 2. I feel like episode 1 was a big success. All my friends and family, everyone who listened to it said, "Oh, you're so good at speaking." And I said, well, I do this for a living. No, in all actuality, I said thank you. I really appreciate all the first-time listeners coming to this episode. I really appreciate everyone who caught the last episode. I appreciate you even if you're a last-time listener for this episode. Thanks for even checking it out. I'm coming to you live today from an Airbnb. I'm down here in the valley visiting my girlfriend. And so I got an Airbnb. I mean, don't get me wrong, she does have her own place out here in the valley, but she lives with 3 other girls, so I didn't want to come in and impede on those young ladies' lives and just be chilling there in her apartment all day. That would have been super weird for me. And so every time I come down here, I get an Airbnb, because that was one of the worst things about, having multiple roommates, like when I was first in college, was that sometimes others want to have visitors and those visitors don't know when to leave, and all of a sudden you're just trying to chill, trying to enjoy the general living space of your apartment, and there's like 3 people sleeping on the couch and you're like, who the fuck are these strangers within my living space? Like, it's just not the ideal situation, and this was a way more comfortable move for me. So I made the move. I'm always making moves for myself. This is like the 3rd time I've come down here. Every single time I've gotten an Airbnb because, it's really just a lifestyle at this point. This particular Airbnb is connected to a casa, a very nice casa of a very nice Mexican family. I've been here for 4 days already. I'm going to be staying here for 6 more days so we can celebrate Valentine's Day together. And, I'm feeling like I'm part of the familia already, staying in this Airbnb that's attached to these people's house. Very nice people, nice little quaint Airbnb. Although I am sitting at the world's squeakiest chair. Okay, this thing is very uncomfortable. I've spent the last 2 days here doing work, and it hasn't been easy, okay? It's back-breaking labor. No, I'm just playing, but there's like a little tiny tea party chair that I've been sitting on, and it makes a lot of noise. But other than that, it's been great. It's been a nice Airbnb experience. It's kind of funny. You got to literally walk through these people's backyard anytime you want to come in to the Airbnb or leave the Airbnb. But they're really cool, and they're really nice. And it was the most affordable thing for me that actually had a kitchen, a bathroom, a bedroom. I mean, pretty much everything that you need. And the Airbnb life has been good to me. I think it's definitely better than staying in a hotel. I'm a huge vouch for the Airbnb lifestyle. It's been good. We're gonna get to spend Valentine's together. I think that she wouldn't have been very happy if we didn't get to do that. So I had to make the around 5-hour drive down here to come and spend some time with her. She has work right now, so I'm just chilling at my pretend job. No, I mean my job. And guys, I just want to say I'm thankful for each and every one of you for allowing me to live this lifestyle where I can come and do shit like this and still get work done. Not be on such a tight schedule. I get to wake up every day and kind of do whatever I want, and that's an amazing feeling. I see how hard she has to work down here. She's doing an externship where she doesn't even get paid, but they work her like a slave. So, big shout out to her for working so hard. What a wonderful woman. And a big shout out to me for coming to see her. Shout out to me. So, now that I'm done making me feel good about myself, let's see. Last Sunday was National Pizza Day. I don't know how many of you chose to partake. At this point, I think there's a holiday every single day of the year. I wouldn't be surprised if there's National Donut Day, National Taco Day, National Blowjob Day. I mean, there's got to be everything at this point. Okay, and I fell into the hype. I think I saw that it was National Pizza Day on Twitter or Instagram or something like that. And so, turned over to my girl and said, hey, it's National Pizza Day. What are we about to do? And, this girl loves pizza. She loves to eat. And so we went out to find some pizza down here in the valley. We hadn't found very good pizza so far. I mean, I think the options are so limited down here for stuff like that that someone recommended we go to Peter Piper Pizza one time, and it was not very good. So we had some bad pizza experiences down here in the valley, but I found this new other place that was like 30 minutes out. You know me, I like that New York style pizza. So we went to a place that was literally called Russo's New York Style Pizzeria. And we went and checked that place out. And have you guys ever been to a restaurant that the food was actually really good, but the service and the overall vibe of it just sucked? We walked into this place, and right away, I didn't really like it that the guy tells me, hey, what's going on? Y'all want to sit at the bar? Do you mind sitting at the bar? And I look around the restaurant, and no one's sitting at the bar. I don't know if this was like a whites-only restaurant, because where we are right now, it's nothing but Mexicans, okay? I should feel right at home. But there was nothing but white people in this restaurant. They were all sitting within the dining area. 2 Mexicans walk in, and all of a sudden, he's asking us if we want to sit at the bar. I'm like, nah, like, we're good. So immediately, I didn't like that. I didn't like looking at his 4 eyes, his glasses wearing face. He just had one of those faces that you kind of just want to punch. And then we got seated by a guy who was pretty much the dude who lives with his mom on Big Bang Theory, like the Mexican version of that dude. This guy just had no personality. He had no sense of urgency in getting us our food. I guess he thought that I was going to be a bad tipper. He thought that we were broke or something because, he basically neglected us the entire time. And I never even do this, but like I didn't even want to give this guy a tip at the end of dinner, honestly, because he was being so negligent. I don't think he ever brought us water. She asked for ranch with her pizza. He never brought it. And so, yeah, I just didn't like this waiter. I still left a tip. I still left him like a 12% tip because I'm just that type of guy. I still gotta leave tips. And I'm usually a great tipper, guys. I'm usually a great tipper because I understand that some waiters and waitresses can be a little bit prejudiced against young people because they probably think that they're not gonna tip them anything. And so when I get really good service, I tend to tip very well. And so, yeah, National Pizza Day, I guess it was kind of a success because the pizza was actually really, really good. Got some complimentary bread before the meal, but the service sucked, and I don't know if I would go back just because the service was so bad and the overall vibe was kind of garbage. I actually wanted to sit there and eat a really big piece of chocolate cake, but after I got that type of service, I was like, nah, I'm not giving these fuckers any more of my money. And we left. I don't even need that chocolate cake anyway. I'm just now getting rid of the flat tire around my waist, around my stomach area. So I didn't need any more of those carbs or those sweet problems in my life. But yeah, did y'all partake in National Pizza Day? Let me know down below in the comments section. Something else I wanted to talk about was what I think about nurses. And just a little disclaimer, I'm probably about to piss a bunch of people off. Maybe you're a nurse. Maybe your great Aunt Sue was a nurse and she took care of you from birth or something. And they were an amazing person and you never stop hearing good stories about them. Yada, yada, yada. But either way, I just want to get this out there. I think that 75% of these nurses out here are just absolute jokes. They're glorified caretakers, and half of them are so fucking lazy that they can't even do the most basic things for people who are oftentimes on their deathbed. My grandpa was in the hospital around a year ago. Sadly, this man was diagnosed with cancer back in December of 2018, and he's been fighting it ever since. And around a year ago, it got really bad because not only was this man dealing with cancer, but he also had pneumonia in his lungs. And so that was really tough on our family. We all went out to go see him at the hospital, and basically they were not treating him right at all. He has diabetes for over 40, 50 years now, and they were giving this man a diet of all bread, like grilled cheese sandwiches, pudding, just a bunch of shit that a diabetic shouldn't eat. And that's all they wanted to give him. And he was very uncomfortable. No one was bathing him for like days, even though there's a sign that says you're supposed to get a bath every single day. He was having to wait between 10 and 15, sometimes 20 or 30 minutes for someone to help him to get up and go to the restroom. While he was there, he got into, little verbal arguments with several nurses, one of which included a woman who told him, if I don't show up on time, you just need to go to the restroom on yourself. Which, if I ever catch that woman in the streets, it's on sight. I'm punching that bitch in the face. You don't say that to someone who is pretty much in a state where they can't help themselves at that current moment. My grandfather is one of the strongest people I've ever met in my entire life. He has some of the most perseverance I've ever seen in a human, and overall, this dude's mind is just made of steel. Man, I just respect that man so much, and to see him be put through that was just garbage. It really pissed me off. And I'm not talking about everyone in the hospital, okay? I'm not talking about the therapist. I'm not talking about the doctors. I'm only talking about these new lazy-ass fucking nurses who don't even want to help people. Like, you would think that if you chose that as your profession, like, you would really care for the well-being of others, and you would be the type of person to have a bit of a servant's heart and do whatever you have to do to make these people comfortable. But oftentimes, these people are just lazy fucks who are mistreating all of their patients. Like, my aunt, just the other day, her appendix burst, and she was like in the hospital. It was a very dire situation. Thank God she's okay now, but the nurses were treating her really badly. She was having to wait 45 minutes for someone to help her use the restroom. And then, like, another time, they set up an IV wrong, and she was getting way too much of, like, a certain type of medicine going into her arm, and her arms were going numb, and she's sitting there tapping the button, and these motherfuckers are out there having a conversation. They don't come and get her for a whole hour. My uncle had to show up before any of the nurses could. He drove all the way from his house. He drove 20 minutes from his house, and he flipped shit on those lazy, donut-eating, shift-changing fuckers. Okay, so fuck the nurses. You're a bunch of glorified caretakers. I'm sure that there's some great nurses out there, but much like the police force, the bad seeds have ruined my outlook on you. Everyone I knew from high school who ended up becoming a nurse wasn't even that smart. And, they walk around once they get their little white coats and they think there's something special when they're really just a bunch of elitist cunts who are destined to look like a hobbit in around 5 years because they have to stay up all night, they can't have a good diet, and they don't even know what a gym is. So, nurses, you're on my shit list right now. I just really wanted to get that out. Fuck you. Next, I wanted to talk about the Super Bowl. Okay, I know I'm a little bit late here because I had a bit of a busy weekend. I had a bit of a busy week last week, and I didn't get to pod. But my prediction was correct. The Chiefs won the Super Bowl. Old Patty Mahomes slinging the pigskin brought it home. And wow, it was such a beautiful thing. What a great comeback. Jimmy G got fucked up. He got exposed. Don't put the ball in Jimmy G's hands to win the football game, okay? He should have kept the ball on the ground. And overall, it was a good Super Bowl for me. Went to a little Super Bowl party being hosted by my uncle. I had a big old fat turkey leg. And overall, it was a good time watching Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs come back and win that Super Bowl. It's probably the best Super Bowl in a while, okay? That was pretty good, pretty entertaining stuff, especially compared to the 2019 Super Bowl, Patriots versus Rams. That was just absolute garbage. Besides, in that Super Bowl, I won like $100. So even that Super Bowl was good for me. But yeah, it was entertaining. I thought it was a good time. I thought that Patrick Mahomes really deserved to win the Super Bowl, and I see many more in his future. So long live the Kansas City Chiefs. Congratulations to Andy Reid for finally getting that done, for finally getting that beautiful ring. I'm sure he slept with 50 hamburgers, 50 cheeseburgers in his bed that night while his wife sucked on his toes. Okay, you know, his wife is actually a very pretty woman. I don't know how old Andy Reid is or his wife, but she's looking very nice late in her life for a white woman especially. So congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs. I also wanted to talk about the XFL. I didn't even know that this league was coming back. I think that it's been in the remaking for around 3 years now, because I know that the first time they tried to do this whole XFL business in the early 2000s, it was an absolute fucking failure. It was pretty much like that PlayStation 2 game, The Blitz, where, you're like inviting strippers to your house and shit like that, banging them the night before the game and breaking people's bones in their cartilage. That game was awesome, but it doesn't translate well into a real life league that people are gonna respect. So I have been paying attention to the XFL ever since I saw the news that they were gonna start having some games last weekend, and I saw some highlights from those games, and it looks like you got some real talent out there, man. I mean, you got a lot of ex-NFL players, especially the quarterbacks, and it's cool to see these other guys get a second chance at doing something they love, especially seeing that these guys aren't going to be bougie. I saw a guy shotgunning 2 beers in the locker room after they won their game on Sunday, so that was pretty interesting. And I think it's a great idea, man. The NFL needs some competition. The NFL is getting a little bit pussy for everyone to watch, honestly. I mean, you can't even sniff the quarterback's jockstrap without getting a 15-yard penalty these days in the NFL. And there was already some pretty big hits being laid. I saw a dude throw up on the field in these first couple of XFL games. So that was pretty good. I enjoyed that, and I look forward to seeing where they're going to take that league in general. I guess I'm kind of looking for a team to root for. I know there's a team in Houston. I know there's a team in Dallas. But I have a feeling that I'm just going to end up going for one of these other teams. And I will be watching that. I will be watching that league somewhat closely now that football season is over and there's going to be nothing to watch besides 162 games of baseball. And something else I wanted to talk about was on my drive over here, I also think it's funny the types of cars that we allow here in America, that we allow people to drive. Like, one guy is driving a smart car and the other guy is driving a dually with a 10-inch lift with 40-inch tires and with huge rims and a fucking massive muffler, and he's just fucking flying down the road. Like, why the fuck is that shit legal? It doesn't even make any sense to me. Like, no one needs a car or a truck that big, and it really just makes you look like a small peckered douchebag. You know, you couldn't just keep the truck regular. You had to make it to where you needed a step stool to get into the driver's seats. I mean, imagine taking a girl out on a date in that thing, you know? Oh, let me help you down. She falls off and breaks her fucking leg. It's just so funny to me that those are always the people that drive like the biggest douchebags. Those and people who drive souped up Honda Accords just make me laugh, and they make me happy that my brain isn't so small that I would need to do something like that or have that type of vehicle in my possession. So there I am driving my little Acura down the road for 5 hours straight, and all these trucks are just flying by 100 miles an hour. Look, like, if I'm already going, 10 to 15 miles over the speed limit and you're still riding my ass, like if I'm going 50 in a 70, you can just fuck off, to be honest. Like, I'm not going to speed up for you. I'm not even going to move over for you. You can move over. You can, fuck yourself. And yeah, the drivers here just in general are really bad, especially around the San Antonio area. Okay, I'm pretty sure a lot of the people in that area are driving without insurance, driving without licenses. There's probably a lot of 9-year-olds on the road. So yeah, people need to learn how to drive here in Texas. And also with Valentine's Day coming up, I'm real excited. We got a reservation at P.F. Chang's because, as you can imagine, down here in the valley, there's not, a million high-end, nice restaurants to pick from. And we kind of waited too long to make the reservations. Everyone grabbed up the very few places that are considered a little bit more fancy. And so luckily, the girlfriend called up P.F. Chang's and she got us a spot over there. So that's where I'm going to be on Valentine's Day at 8 o'clock. Should be nice. Should be able to have a feast compared to what I would have paid at some other places. Some of these other places want to charge you $150 for a crab leg on Valentine's Day. So I wasn't going to do that, especially not down here where, the restaurants are kind of like a box of Cracker Jacks. Like, you don't know what you're going to get. So I'm excited for that. I'm happy that it's going to be at P.F. Chang's. That's one of my favorite chain fancy restaurants, I would say. I can't wait to eat that wall of chocolate cake, especially after I missed out on the other chocolate cake when those pizza cunts came out and treated me like shit. So my pride wouldn't let me take a bite of that deliciousness that was sitting behind that refrigerator counter. And yeah, it should be a good time. Let me know what you guys are doing for Valentine's Day down in the comments below. Are you taking your significant other out? Are you having to spend a lot of money? Are you saving all your money besides the $10 that you're going to go spend at the convenience store for 2 big old things of ice cream? You're just going to down that all night and think about how you're single and maybe get drunk off a bottle of Barefoot? That sounds like a good time. It sounds like a cheap time, too. So it's not the end of the world if you don't have a Valentine. I hope you know that. There's always next year. But I don't know. I feel like I always have a Valentine. Even when I wasn't in a relationship, like I would find a Valentine and shit. So I'm someone who likes this holiday. I like love. I like feeling mushy. There is another side to me, as some of you might be surprised, that's not a dick. So yeah, I'm very excited for Valentine's Day this year. All right, what's going on, everyone? I'm back with the email reads, the advice column for the podcast. You can email me. That's at jamariadvice@gmail.com. And you have a chance to be featured on the show. I have some really great emails today. A lot of matters of love, if I remember correctly. So with that being said, I'm here with my wonderful girlfriend.
Hello, everyone.
And so it should be a good time. She's going to help me answer these wonderful questions that you guys sent in for me.
I'm a little nervous.
Okay. Okay. So here we go. She says, "Hello, Jamari. I would like to remain anonymous. Big fan of your channel. Been watching since that cousin loving video. So gross, right? Yeah, that video was super gross, and I'm just waiting to see if those people are going to have a baby. Anyway, first of all, just wanted to say how much I'm happy to see how much your channel has grown. You're such a great guy with a great sense of humor and you deserve it. Well, thank you very much. Anyways, so here it goes. I've been dating my boyfriend for 3 months, but we've been a thing for about 6 months. Next week, I'm spending Valentine's weekend with him mostly because my birthday is on the 17th. So he has to pay for Valentine's and for her birthday.
I mean, it's okay. It's not his fault that her birthday is right next to Valentine's Day.
That's true. I think I would just give one gift. I mean, depending on how much I like them.
It'd be nice to give them 2
or a
gifts.
super gift. What about a super gift?
It depends how super that gift is.
Okay, so I'm spending 4 nights with him. My issue is that he's a very distant person. I was cheated on in my last relationship, so I'm kind of insecure about, well, everything. Feel free to call me crazy and say I'm being paranoid, by the way. Oh, say I'm being paranoid. By the way, he's terrible at texting. I don't know if all guys are like that, but if they are, he gets the trophy. So that, I mean, we're in a long distance relationship right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that he's a terrible texter. I mean, I feel like if he wants to text you, I mean, I feel like he will.
Yeah, I think it's important.
Yes, and
if you're in a long distance relationship,
yes,
at least.
For sure. That's the only source of communication that you have is through the phone, whether it be via text or FaceTime. And I can only imagine how distant you feel if you're not at least texting a whole lot.
Or at least when you can.
Yes.
But what if, like, I was bad at texting?
Then it probably wouldn't work out.
Yeah. I mean, same with you, I don't think.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what she says. I don't know if all guys are like that, but if they are, he gets the trophy. We're both on Discord. You know what that is?
No.
It's like a chat room, but you make it or something like that. I don't know. I tried to get one, but it didn't work out. We're both on Discord and are in the same servers and hang out with the same people. A lot of times, like tonight, I'll see him typing in there, and yet he hasn't texted me back.
What? I'd be so upset. I would send him an instant message on that.
I mean, that's the type of stuff you start to notice when you're in a long distance relationship. Yeah. But you can't get that mad. I mean, if it was like
time to get onto the chat room, I would get upset.
But if it was like, well, it depends. If it was like time after time after time, and let's say it was like he's constantly in the chat room, but then like he's taking an hour to text you back, yeah, that's not cool. But what if they're both in the chat room talking in there already? Like, he might feel like he doesn't have to also text her because that's kind of like their way of virtually hanging out with their friends, maybe.
Oh, I thought you meant like he's
I don't know. Well, I don't know.
The chat room and not talking to her at all.
Well, because it can just say that he's online on Discord, but he doesn't have to be talking in the chat room. He could be like talking to somebody else, and it would still tell you.
Well, I don't know.
Yes, I know it's dramatic, but coming from a girlfriend's perspective, it's like, what the fuck? He has a full-time job and lives in a different city. We met online, so I'm not with him all the time. But I spend about every other weekend with him at his apartment. He told me before he's not a very affectionate guy, which is okay. I'm not expecting him to be super mushy, but he's kind of weird about it. He told me he's just tired of the same things in a relationship, which I guess makes sense, but it sometimes hurts my feelings. So I guess he doesn't want to be like affectionate towards her because he's tired. He's been in so many relationships that he's just tired of it.
I don't know what he
That's not a good excuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the right person, I mean, I think you make it happen.
Yeah, I agree.
Because, I mean, if you're talking to the wrong person, I think that you would be like that. You know, you don't really show them that much attention. You don't really show them how much you care.
Yes, I definitely agree. Let's read on.
But it sometimes hurts my feelings. Anyways, he hasn't texted me back in like a full day. Wow. Which makes me insecure and my mind go crazy. I mean, how would that make you feel?
I'd probably go crazy too.
I know people hearing this are saying, wow, this chick's insane. I don't think so.
I don't think you're insane.
I think that your boyfriend isn't attentive enough.
Yes.
But be real, girls. We get like this sometimes. Yeah, I think not only girls, I think anybody.
But I think it's also normal to react that way. I mean, you haven't talked to him all day long. You don't know what could happen. All these things going through your head.
Well, she says her mind instantly goes to, he's cheating on me. When he's most likely asleep or playing video games. Asleep for a full day? It doesn't take long to send a text message.
It doesn't.
To say, hey, I'm going to be busy.
Yes, it doesn't.
Even if he's busy, right? Like, hey, I'm going to be busy from this time to this time today.
It takes about
I'll talk
10
to you
seconds.
later. It don't take that long. So I feel for you. That's really hard. He's a couple years older than me for reference. It drives me crazy that he sucks at texting, and the only time I really talk to him is when I'm with him in person. I've told him at least 4 times to get better at texting, but it doesn't seem to be working. You seem like a very understanding guy, so please help me out. What should I do? I don't want to break up with him or anything, I guess, because I'm crazy about him. Wow, he must be amazing in person.
Yeah, he must be. I don't know
what is
how
he
you're
doing
making
in
it
person?
work.
But it seems hard when he barely talks to me. Like I said, he's probably super busy at work or asleep after work, but it makes me miss him a lot. What do you think? Is he actually busy, or is he trying to make me desire him more, or something else?
I don't think he's trying to make you desire, or trying to make you desire him more at all.
Yeah, like, what is he playing hard to get still?
No, he's not playing hard to get. I think that's just who he is. And honestly, I wouldn't want to be with that type of person.
I don't think playing hard to get has ever worked for anyone in real life.
And I think that's an excuse. I think people like to say, oh, they're playing hard to get.
But
really, they're not hard to get. You're already in a relationship.
Yeah, you already got him. Yeah, I don't think... Or something else. So does she mean... Is he cheating on her? Does he want her to cheat on him?
I don't really know if we can say that he wants to cheat on her or he wants her to cheat on him.
It sounds to me like he's just maybe not equipped to be in this long distance relationship.
I agree. We can't really say anything about the whole cheating, but I just feel like he just doesn't really care about this relationship.
Yeah, he cares more about what's going on online. I would just have a very honest talk with him about it before you did anything drastic. I mean, it's not just, hey, can you get better at texting?
I think so too, especially if you've already talked to him about 4 times about it. That's if you really want to stay with him. You could talk to him and figure it out. But I think you will know when a guy really likes you and wants to spend time with you and put effort towards being in a relationship. And I just don't think this guy is it.
Yeah. You seem like you deserve better than this guy.
Yes.
Was that what you were waiting for me to say?
Yes.
Well, I'm kind of trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, too. She says she's crazy about him.
Yes.
This guy must be magic in person. Doing some crazy stuff.
But you can be crazy about someone that isn't good for you. And
I guess, but someone that doesn't treat you very good, that's tough.
I mean, some people are blinded sometimes when they're in their relationship and they need other people from the outside to tell them what really is happening. Okay, the next person says, hey, my name is Cameron and I'm currently 20 years old. I've been in a relationship for almost 3 to 4 years now, and suddenly around 2 months ago we've been on a break due to the fact of miscommunication and trust issues. Yeah, we still see each other every now and then and have sex, and the sex still happens. But I feel the trust been out of the window due to the fact almost a month ago I've seen she been texting other folks and even had one of those dudes pick her up from my house. That's crazy.
This guy has to be a black dude from the South. You know that?
No,
Who else says
idea.
folks? In the way he's typing?
So recently, I guess she went through my phone and seen I've been texting other females after the fact.
Okay.
Because I'm no
Cuck.
And what does cuck mean?
A cuck means a dude who likes to watch his girl get slammed.
Oh, okay. Thought it had to do with the chicken, like cluck.
No.
And I won't sit around while you have all the fun. But the real problem is I don't know how to stop being able to love her. Even after all she did, I still love her. Anything can help. If you want this part of your podcast, you can feel free to use it. Thank you.
Wow. Well, I think you need to stop doing that immediately. Another guy picked her up from his house.
Yeah. How can you love someone like that?
It's
not fair to you.
I think that in general, hanging out with an ex that you're not gonna get back with them, or you still love them but you're not gonna get back together, is bad.
Yes, you're just continuously adding salt to the wound that's never gonna heal.
Well, yeah, and you're the only one getting hurt.
Yes, because obviously she doesn't care about your feelings. If she can have some other guy pick you up from your own house.
Yeah, that's pretty messed up. I'd be done. I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, I get it because they had a relationship for almost 4 years.
Yeah, but
and
how does that
I get them
frustrate you?
him still want to have sex with her, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But it's over, dude. Yes. She's having sex with other guys too, so that's just dangerous.
Yeah.
You don't want those problems. There
is some other girl that you can have sex with, and she won't be picked up by another dude.
Yeah, it sounds like you have other girls interested.
Yes, you do.
So what you gotta do is cut this other girl completely off.
Yes, and I know it might be hard, but within time, you'll be able to get over her.
Well, and I see that there was miscommunication and trust issues if she's doing stuff like this. But it's sad because it sounds like he's only talking to these other girls because her.
Yeah.
But at least he can get them. Like some people can't even get them.
Well, if you're ready, you should continue talking to one of the females that's texting you back. And maybe give her a try. But if you're not ready, that's okay too, and you can take time to yourself and just heal from this relationship. But first of all, just stop talking to that other girl.
Well, and I would be careful, because if you go and try and have sex with some other girl and then it's nasty or not good at all, you're probably going to feel
worse.
Even worse,
and
yeah.
You probably would want to go back to the other girl.
Yes.
So for now, if you are going to talk to someone, I would just keep it PG until you know.
Just have friends. Have a friend.
And then maybe it'll turn into something else.
Yeah. And have some respect for yourself. I would fucking strangle someone if I had sex, or if I even hung out with my ex-girlfriend and then some other dude was picking her up from the house. Disrespectful. Mm-hmm. She sounds like she wasn't worth it anyway. Maybe you should link up with the girl from the last email. Y'all both sound like very devoted people to your relationships. And I know you're going to be okay. You're only 20 years old.
Yeah, I'm 25.
So he went from 16 to 20 with her. Mm. Who gives a fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Fuck that. That's such a young part of your life that you're going to be such a different person.
You still have your whole all the rest of your 20s,
your fun 20 years. This is perfect. Left. If anything, this is 21, perfect, dude.
22, 23, all those years are so much fun. If you take advantage of them, because then you'll never get them back.
Well, and just be glad that you didn't invest more time into this girl. Time, money, some type of commitment. Maybe you would have got married to her and then she would have cheated on you. So this could be a blessing in disguise. She showed her true colors early on, and it's time to just drop her out of your mind. Okay, hiya. I'm a junior in high school, so the pressure of looking into colleges and doing the best you can rises. I'm the youngest of all siblings in a Hispanic household, Puerto Rican and Dominican. Oh, those are different types of Hispanics.
They are.
So as I'm sure you know, we get the most pressure to be everything our parents ever wanted. No, I think that's Asians.
To be everything our parents ever wanted?
Yeah.
I mean, our parents have goals for us, and
Yeah, like
What do you
good
mean?
parents. Well, let's read on. But I mean, good parents, they should have a goal for you. Like, oh, I want you to go to finish college.
yeah.
Like that's how a lot of Hispanic parents are because a lot of them don't have education, and they've seen how hard it's made their life. So they just want their kids to have education. None of my siblings are in college, so of course I carry the extra weight that I have to do what my parents want because the others didn't carry out their part. My parents have always been super strict and I never really had independence. I still don't have an inch of independence, so he's like 17. But with each day that passes by, I realize more and more what I really want to achieve and what path I want to take. Well, my parents don't like that. My parents dream of me becoming a doctor and going to Harvard. Wow, those are some high expectations.
Those are very high expectations.
Or a school that's local. So either Harvard or a school that's local. That's pretty extreme. That is the two extremes. To keep tabs on me more easily. Okay, well, you better get into Harvard, my boy, unless you want to have your parents up your ass all the time. I, however, want to go very far for college and pursue an engineering career. Aerospace/astronomical engineer, if you were wondering.
We were wondering.
So you must be smart. And what's wrong with that? Like, that's better than being a doctor.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's a million doctors. There's not that many what is it called?
Engineers.
Spaceship engineers? Is that what it's called? A spaceship?
The thing that people take to space.
Like NASA?
A spaceship?
That's not what it's really called, though, isn't it? A rocket ship.
It's not called a spaceship.
A rocket ship. Because it takes off like a rocket. It is a rocket.
Maybe it's spaceship in cartoons.
But what's a rocket?
I don't know. I thought it was I don't know.
Okay, anyway. So he wants to be a fucking space engineer, which is super impressive. Very limited, very hard. Probably be one of the first Hispanics. That's a way bigger deal. There's a lot of Hispanic doctors. A lot of fucking Hispanic doctors doing faulty work out here. Anyway, I feel that not only the long distance and a totally new environment would benefit me. Well, yeah, it sounds like you're not having very much fun being around your parents.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing.
But it would force me to be more independent because I won't have my parents hovering over me. I have to grow up someday, right?
Yes, and it might seem hard, but it's not that hard.
Oh, and you seem like you have a good head on your shoulders.
Yes. You'll figure it out.
You need to do something like that.
Not
everyone needs to do that, but
it seems like you can handle it.
Yeah, like you can handle it. That's good. I feel like my parents think I'm just being immature and rebellious because they don't see why learning to be independent at a young age is important. I guarantee they were so independent too when they were kids, just in a different way. They laugh at the idea of me being independent. You are one of my favorite Hispanic figures. It's very nice. Very, very nice. And seem to be well-rounded on life. So I was wondering if you would be able to give me advice on how to deal with this situation and how to get my parents to take me seriously on my goals for the future. I don't think that you can. That's how his parents are. Like, their minds are set in stone. You just have to do it.
Yeah, I feel like you just have to do it, and then unfortunately later on they'll be like, oh, okay, I see what you've done, and overall pretty proud.
Especially, like, if they're not going to help you out financially, really.
But if they are going to help you out financially, then that's tough too.
But you know what? If that's something you really want to do, you got to figure it out. Take a fat loan.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you have a lot of brothers and sisters, and no one went to college, so you might be able to get a lot of money. So I would definitely talk to a counselor at your school. Try and get as much money as you can. If you have really good grades, those types of programs are perfect for people who come from low-income families. Like, they'll give you a lot of money and a lot of scholarships. Hispanic parents are very stubborn, so trying to have an adult conversation with them without them shutting down your opinion is very hard. I'm sure you've been through this before, and if you haven't, I would still love to hear your 2 cents. Best of regards from Pennsylvania, Ari. Luckily, my parents weren't like that. They just wanted me to go to college and finish college.
Yes, my parents were the same. They just wanted me to go to college. They had no idea really what I was really going for. I didn't really figure it out until my junior year of college, really. That's tough because, yeah, they just wanted me to go to college. They didn't really say, like, you have to do this. But I remember my dad telling my brother that he had to do become a pharmacist.
And he didn't do that.
And he didn't do that. And I think he was going through the motion of becoming a pharmacist. But then I think one day he just came home and told my dad, you know what, I'm not going to do that. And I want to be a football coach. And yeah, my dad was very angry.
I feel like a pharmacist is so not him though. Now,
Yes.
like knowing him, like in when you're thinking about it in retrospect, I'm sure he would have been like, "Why the fuck would I have done that?"
Yes.
He's so, and he's a great coach.
Yes, he is
And
a great
he's
coach.
he's balling.
Yes. He is.
He could have been the worst pharmacist ever and killed someone and went to jail.
Probably. Well, let's hope not, but
It don't matter.
But
It don't
yes,
matter.
My dad was very angry that night, and I remember playing a computer. I was young. I was playing a computer game, and all I hear is my brother get home and speak to my dad and my mom, and man, my dad went off. And I was like, I think it's time to go to my room.
Well, maybe that's why they were more lax with what they let you do, because he learned from that experience that it could actually bring him so much joy.
Yeah.
And think about how much joy it's brought him
And now
for
my
him
dad-
to be a football coach.
Yes, now my dad loves it. He goes to all of his games.
Yeah, it's his whole life.
Supports him. So I think you just gotta do it. Like, I know that they won't agree now, or if they do agree with it, that's great, but it seems like they probably aren't. And I think you just go for it.
Well, and
Later on, they'll appreciate.
Well, the other thing is, I don't know how specific that type of degree is, but maybe there's room for compromise. Like, maybe you could go somewhere close, but you do what you want to do.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
But still,
Like, don't do something so drastic.
But still, I mean, independence and getting that independence is very important. And honestly, I think it's something that everyone should experience, like getting the college experience. And I think part of it is becoming more independent. And I don't know. If you do have the opportunity to go away and do what you want, I mean,
Yeah.
that would be cool too. But I mean, if that isn't an option and you're going to consider your parents, then yeah, you could go somewhere local and find and do the engineering as well.
Yeah, don't get $100,000 into debt or more and take 12 years of school to make your parents happy and live a fucking terrible life either. Do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Yes.
And
In the end,
it might
they'll
hurt
come
some
along.
Yes, it might hurt some people in the process, but if you become a success,
Which you most likely
you will. You sound like you will. And we need more Hispanic people to be successful.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to be successful trying to be a doctor if that's not what you want to do. I mean, think about your brother. He didn't want to do that shit. And so it was taking him a long time, right?
Yes.
And then once he figured it out, the ball was rolling. Now this man has a master's degree.
It was.
So,
you just push through with what you want to do.
And it's hard when it's your parents. It's really hard.
It is hard.
Especially because I'm sure you love them with all your heart. And I'm sure your family's real close. But you know what? It sounds like your siblings already dropped the ball too. So fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
Do whatever you want.
If they can do whatever you want, whatever they want, you can do whatever you want. And
Yeah.
whatever you want to do isn't bad at all.
I'm proud of you. Keep working hard, and send me more email updates if you want. I'm excited to see where this goes.
Yes.
And I hope this message gets out to you, buddy. All right? Gonna pray for you.
Hey Jamari, I saw your post on YouTube asking people if they needed relationship advice that you can answer on your upcoming podcast, and I thought I would email you. I'm a big fan that watches your videos almost every single day, and I'm super excited at the idea of you starting a podcast. I need some serious advice, so here goes. For context, I'm a 21-year-old student living in Los Angeles or Louisiana.
Los Angeles, I assume.
Oh, okay.
It could be Louisiana, right?
LA.
That's usually Los Angeles. Yeah.
Never mind.
I don't know.
I live with my best friend in the whole world and have lived with her for the past 3 years.
Okay.
We have a super close relationship and love for each other very much. I know she feels as though we can tell each other everything. However, there is one secret that I don't know how to tell her, and I have been keeping it in for a while. I will try to make this short. I am extremely in love with her boyfriend. Wow, I wasn't expecting that one. I thought you were going to say that.
You were in love with her
You were in
or
love
something?
with her. It sounds really bad. I have been for a while now. Not only am I in love with him, but I hooked up with him once. It was a long time ago, before they ever were a thing.
Oh, before they were a thing. Okay.
But I know that she doesn't know about it. I feel like I'm a horrible person and friend. Maybe if you talk about it on your podcast, I can tell her to listen to it and see how she reacts.
No, it's a bad idea.
I don't think that's the way she should find out.
It's a terrible idea.
I can't help how I feel, but I know I'm a bad person for keeping it a secret this long. I just really value her as a person in my life. Should I suck it up and let them be happy?
Yes. It's not your place to step in and ruin her whole relationship. But it's crazy. Like, so you hooked up with him before, and then all of a sudden you've seen this dude at your apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And now he knows what both of you were like naked for 3 years.
That's wild.
That's a crazy secret to keep.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I feel like this one I have to think about.
Well, it depends. Like, if he might be in love with you...
Yes, I feel like that's a I would need more information.
I don't know. To me, I'm always friends over...
Yeah.
Over that type of stuff.
That's true.
And what is going to happen? What is the end game? Like, what, are you going to tell her you love him and take her from him? Are you going to tell her you love him and take him from her? And then y'all date? Like, I don't think that's very likely to happen.
Yeah.
I'm sure it happens. Like, I'm sure there's people that are in love with, like, someone's husband and shit like that.
Probably.
And the fact that he's never tried to, again, hook up with you after seeing you that many times tells me he's not a bad person either.
That's true.
Right? And don't tell the best friend you hooked up with him.
Yeah, I feel like since it happened such a long time ago and it only happened once, nothing really came from it. Yeah, you should just probably not tell her.
It's tough.
It is tough.
Maybe
because I feel like I would also want to tell her just from like a friend to friend, not to ruin her relationship. But I know that it would like ruin the relationship if one of my friends told me that.
It's a terrible situation to have to be in.
Yes.
Because you know you're in love with him. He comes over. You have to see him. You gotta see them kissing, holding hands, being in love.
How are you in love with her boyfriend?
Because she sees him all the time, probably.
I know, but just because you see somebody doesn't mean I can
So both people living in
you.
this apartment are in love with this one guy.
I didn't fall in love with you because I just saw you. You have to have some sort of...
Well, duh. But that one night must have been real nice. All right?
Yeah. I don't know about that.
And maybe she knew him before her.
Yeah,
like, I don't know if they just hooked up one night.
Yes.
I
don't know what the history is.
But I think for now, you don't say anything. And maybe if they break up, you're like, by the way, we had hooked up. But it just doesn't do anything. Like, it doesn't do any good by telling her that.
Even then, if they broke up, I don't think
yeah,
I'd say anything.
It'd be one thing if y'all hooked up while they were dating.
Yes, that is definitely a thing, and I would expect you to say something.
But then you look terrible, too, if that was the case. You should have told her early on.
Yes, you did. You should have.
Before they started dating.
Yeah, I think so, too. But now that it's too late, I just don't think you should say it.
It's too late.
You should have told her right at the very beginning when they were talking or something.
Don't show her the podcast.
No, not at all.
I hope that was just sarcasm. But yeah, don't say anything. It's too late. You missed your window of opportunity. And I think that you're doing something very unhealthy. Either you need to move out or you need to find your own boyfriend.
Mm-hmm. There's other
Because you're just
fish
being
in
a
the
creep.
sea.
Yeah, you're just being a creep right now. To be honest. But thank you for the support. And I know the situation ain't easy. So, yeah, I think that that's it for this second podcast. So I hope you guys liked it. You got anything to say?
Yippee! This is my first podcast I've ever been on.
Yeah, yippee.
Yippee!
Go subscribe today.
Yay.
Drop a like on the video. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I hope everyone has a nice Valentine's Day.
Yeah, we're going to P.F. Chang's. I already talked about it.
Oh, you did?
I think so.
Okay.
So we're going to have lettuce wraps and shit like that.
Yes, it'll be a nice Asian cuisine.
Yeah. And if you don't have a Valentine...
That's okay too, because there's something called galentines for all the girls out there. And even for all the guys, if y'all have a nice get-together.
But it's also okay to
spend.
It's also okay to just be alone.
It's also okay to be alone. I've been alone a lot of Valentines, to be honest. But there is someone that cares and loves you.
Waiting
I've been
in
alone.
the future.
Yeah, but even in
Or
the
like your
present.
family.
Yes, because I haven't had a Valentine in a very long time. But I know my parents always come through. And they've sent me flowers and chocolate-covered strawberries.
That's very
and
sweet.
gift cards, and there's friends. And honestly, Valentine's Day isn't about just relationships sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes it's about
love.
Just love and sharing or love with the people that you care and love for. And that's not always going to be your significant other. So you can always spend it with the people that you love, and you'll be surprised who will
come through. Well, and if you don't have a Valentine, go show your mother some love. Go show your father some love. Your brother, your sister,
or
your cousin, your good friend who also doesn't have a Valentine.
Yes.
There's so many ways to show love on that day.
It's only 24 hours.
Or be by yourself.
That too.
Don't fall into the gimmick.
You can.
Of the expensive gimmick that is Valentine's.
Why don't you go buy yourself something nice?
Yeah, treat yourself.
Buy yourself your own heart-shaped pizza.
Treat yourself to some stickers on the website.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks for listening, guys. And I'll see you or talk to you soon. Probably not from an Airbnb. This is next time. You gonna say bye or what?
No, not yet.
Go subscribe today. Follow me on Instagram. Hit your boy with any type of advice you need, or just tell me that you love the show. It really means a lot to me. And I love you on this Valentine's Day. You? Anything to say?
I love you all for listening to me. And
for allowing us to spend time together and me not have a regular job.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that's very true. Thank you all for allowing JAMARI to come and see me. Y'all are the greatest
in the world. All 400,000 of you.
Yes.
Flex. All right. We're out.
Bye.
Much love. Bye-bye.
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 Bye-bye.